M.M Out Here, over there, everywhere, all over the place. In this case, right here. Part 2 of this conversation with the Apostle Leroy Scantlebury. And this week, we're going international.
Yes, sir.
So when we ended part 1, we were about to venture into England. Now, the English ambassador in Washington, someone released some transcripts where he described Donald Trump as an idiot, which he is, and his administration is very inept. The ambassador resigned this week. He wasn't asked to resign, he resigned. Right? Donald Trump is looked on by most leaders as a jackass, as someone who doesn't actually know what's going on. Right? And he's probably the worst, this is the opinion of most people who I talk to. The worst president the United States has ever had. What is your opinion on that?
Well, my first introduction to President Trump, which would be Mr. Trump at the time, is when I first started traveling to the United States of America, he was a businessman at the time, business tycoon, very heavy in
he is still a businessman because he's running the country like a business.
But over the years, there are certain things where you begin to see a transition. What I'm seeing in reality to this, and I've said this to some of the individuals that I've spoken with in my political circle, is we've always been technically the type of people. We've looked up to America, we've looked up to England, we've looked up to those two nations. Barbados being a British colony, still is, and we've looked to America because America has always positioned itself as a land of opportunity. And what I'm seeing here right now is that I'm seeing, in many cases, America falling away from what it could have been and what it should have been to the rest of the world. And the more that you have leadership that does not understand or can't see, the world is trying to come together now. We're trying to become that global community where you have facets that are working towards making sure that that doesn't happen. That becomes a problem. So sometimes the bigger picture, the bigger issue isn't what you're seeing one person doing. The bigger picture is what is going on behind collectively. And that's what, I've paid a lot of attention to these things. And I've always tried to see things from the perspective of, okay, what's the reason why this is happening? Because in reality, when you don't know why, you're powerless. Okay? Whenever a situation is happening and you don't know why it is happening, you have no power.
Okay, we have a situation where Donald Trump wants to build a wall to keep out illegal immigrants, while Germany in Europe, Miss Merkel, has opened her borders to immigrants coming in, and she's been heavily criticized for that.
Well, not only that, but Canada has recently opened up to allow.
Yeah, but not as much as Germany.
Not as much as Germany, and again, it goes back to what I was saying to you about the global village. Leaders are beginning to understand that my country is we're going to open our country to people, because people are who makes the world. And again, countries like America has been built on the back of immigrants. Okay, the first.
In fact, the same Donald Trump's parents and foreparents were immigrants.
Individuals who came over on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
That landed there in Virginia. And over the years you have the cross-polarization of individuals. And it's interesting because, in my study of history in America, the individuals who ran the United States space program were Germans. So
like von Blum and those guys.
Yeah, those guys are very. He came up with the principle of looping the space shuttle on its way to the moon. Brilliant guys. So what I'm saying is, and first of all, you saw a wall before between West and East Germany,
Well,
Okay?
that was communism
Right.
and
Exactly.
and capitalism.
And now what we're seeing is, we're doing this under protecting our nation from individuals. But the reality, Mr. Morris, is that the world is coming together. Okay, the world is coming together. Even our country, Barbados, has been almost like a Caribbean America for people from Guyana and other Caribbean countries, because they felt, because of our strong dollar to the US dollar, that if you can get to Barbados and get employed and make money, you can help your family back home. So the world is trying to come together. People are trying to come together. And I think what is important is for individuals to begin to see the bigger picture as we look at a higher concept and a higher idea of how we bring people together without conflict and without creating any major dissension.
So listen carefully to what the apostle just said. The world is coming together. They're allowing people to come in. But the United States is trying to keep people out. So much so that the next census, Donald Trump is trying to have a question asked on the census about being an illegal immigrant. And he's not receiving any support, but as of press time here, he intends to make it a presidential order. How disgusting can one be?
Well, see, again, we're going back to the principle that I brought up earlier about the world is coming together. And again, Mr. Morris, people make the world. People make the world. People make the world move. And so I think it's important, even for us here in Barbados, to understand that we're looking to bring people together. We're looking to unite rather than separate. We've been like that for too long.
Venezuela. We've had Venezuela ruled by Hugo Chavez, who again was, the United States tried to topple him for years and failed. Now we have Maduro, and we have one guy claiming that he is president, not elected, and you have the United States recognizing this guy, which is an illegal regime. They want to give recognition to this guy who has not been elected, who is a no-real leader, who actually should be charged with treason, as far as I'm concerned. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to Venezuela, because Venezuela has been a country in turmoil for years, okay? And I go back to what I've always said. Countries are about the people, okay? And I don't like the concept of making the country about the leader or the leadership. I'm about always what moves people forward. And Venezuela has not moved its people forward.
Especially with so much
Okay.
oil and that resources.
And that's I've always had a problem, even like with Guyana. I'm always wondering why our country has so much natural resources and their people are always struggling. Now, I've always had an issue with that. So when it comes to that type of activity, you always pay attention to the leadership. And I've yet to see in Venezuela, and this is my take on it, even under Hugo Chavez, I'm yet to see a vision for Venezuela that works for Venezuelans. I'm yet to see it. I'm yet to see it.
Okay, we move on from there. We have Santo Domingo, where you have the Dominican Republic on one side, you have Haiti on the other side. Now they're side and side. Haiti is one of the most impoverished countries that you can think about. Yet, right on the other side, Dominican Republic does well.
Yeah.
What do you think of a white? Do you think Haiti is being punished for being the first country in the so-called New World to become independent when it became independent from France?
No, I don't think this is the issue, because there are elements in Haiti that demonstrates that there's a level of wealth, and there's also the areas in Haiti that are locked off. Okay, but again, it goes back to what is your vision? Where are your people going? And again, I've not seen leadership in Haiti brought to the people of Haiti any kind of real vision. Okay, the Dominican Republic obviously has brought a vision to its people, and so they're booming. They're getting investment. People are going in there doing things, even though they have their own challenges. But again, I've never seen a governmental structure in Haiti that says this is where our people, this is where we're taking our people. Okay, if you look at Haiti, Haiti has a situation where the people basically just run wild. They just do whatever they want to do on another level, and it's very dangerous, by the way, to have people, to have a culture, but yet you don't know where your people are going. And I'm yet, like Venezuela, I'm yet to see that happening. Like Guyana, I'm yet to see that happening over the years. So when people don't have access to their own stuff, okay, and I was in, let me say this, I was in Guyana a number of years ago when a Canadian firm came into Guyana. And I was there when it actually happened. And they wanted to dig for gold. And they had came in, they did their testing in a particular area. And they were told they would not find gold in that specific area. And the government made a deal with them, a 20-80 deal. That whatever they find, they get 20%, they take 80%. That company struck a vein and shipped millions of dollars of gold out of Guyana to Canada. And that's what I'm talking about. When you don't have a vision for where your people are going, you're going to destroy your own people.
I know the vision. I remember some years ago they had an earthquake in Haiti.
Yeah.
And they sent this United States peacekeepers or whatever down there, United Nations peacekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was to spread purposely the disease of cholera.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Well,
No, it was proven, they admitted it. They admitted it that the soldiers purposely spread cholera to the population there. And no one was punished for that.
okay. Well, see, we go back to the concept of what's going on behind the scenes, okay? Because nothing happens until something happens, okay? And I've learned a lot from my biological father that he said to me many times that first of all, nothing happens until something happens, and in order for something to happen, something must happen, okay? And so a lot of individuals over the years, see, countries like Caribbean countries have not had the type of leadership to move them to the point where they're no longer looked at as third world countries and third world destinations. When you have the mark of being a third world destination, you're looked down upon. You're not in that level where people need to do things for you. It's like Spikestown, okay? Spikestown is not a city, it's a town. Mm-hmm. That's why Bridgetown is a city. It is recognized by the monarchy.
But it's a capital.
Right, you see? And Spikestown was originally our capital.
Yes.
You see, but it has no designation as a city, so there's no investment. So this is one of the things that happens over the years, Mr. Morris, with countries where leadership doesn't have vision for where they're going. You open the door for larger countries to come in and exploit you.
And we're coming to the end, but before we go, what Thomas Jefferson said?
He made it clear.
He made it clear.
When the government fears the people, there is liberty.
And when the people fear the government, there is tyranny.
That's correct.
Always remember that. That shall become our trade saying right here on M.M Out There. Who would saying right now, over and out, gone for now, time out. Thank you, sir.
Blessings.
Till next time.